Can ChatGPT trade? Let's find out. This is part 2 of a multi-part series where I'm going to do 100 trades with ChatGPT so we can find out if it can actually trade. So what I'm going to talk about in this video is the results of the challenge so far. We're now just past 1 week in, the updated prompt that I'm now using, and my thoughts on the overall performance so far. So let's get into it, and hopefully we can begin to truly find out if ChatGPT can actually trade. So number 1, the results so far. Well, I have been collecting the results in this spreadsheet. I've also been posting them on Twitter, etc. But on this spreadsheet, you can basically see that as of right now, we are 18 trades in. So 7 days of trading, which is basically 1 and a bit weeks, and we are 18 trades in. And you can basically see in these results that it's a mixture of losses and wins. Generally, the wins tend to be a bit bigger than the losses. I'll just, you can just kind of see here, these ones here, a bit bigger than the losses. The losses are all obviously just kind of 1R, so 1%. And the winners tend to be 1 to 2R in size. So that's one nice thing. The bad thing is that the win rate is very, very low, right? You can see the win rate is approximately, I noted on my Twitter, the win rate is approximately, as of right now, 33.3%. That's a very, very low win rate. But, let's continue to analyze the results so far. So if we come to the spreadsheet, you can see that we have a total accumulated loss of minus 8.7%, which is the equivalent of $173. Well, it's actually $187, but this P&L isn't accounting for commissions, so it's not entirely accurate, but we're about 2% down. So 2% down after 18 trades. That's not great. That's not great, but one win can actually bring that back to break even, because the trades, as you can see here, tend to be 1 to close to, here it was a 1 to 2 RR. So one trade could bring us back to break even. A string of 5 wins in a row could bring us nicely in profit. So you don't want to judge too early, but obviously overall 18 trades in, the results have been underwhelming, I would say. Underwhelming. It seems as though every time you get a win, it's paired with 2 losses. And that has been the exact trend that I've seen. As you can see here, this trade here, this Bitcoin trade that I've highlighted here, this actually brought the account back to break even, and then instantly took 2 L's straight away, brought the account back in 2% drawdown. So you can kind of see the cycle that's going on. It's basically, right now, it's like a break even to marginally losing trader. So that's the results as of right now. So let me just show you a couple of trades so that you can kind of gauge what's going on here. So this is a trade from a couple days ago. So this was Bitcoin, and ChatGPT said the 1 hour chart shows consolidation with a potential breakout to the upside. 5-minute chart supports a bullish entry, blah, 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 indicating short-term bullish momentum. And this trade was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And this is what ChatGPT can do, right? Like, so in this trade, to me, you can see here we've got a touch point, a touch point, a touch point. That's like kind of a strong support being created. We had the 1 hour kind of in this consolidation, and it called this bullish breakout. It happened, and if a runner was held, which obviously it wasn't, but if it was, this just was a fantastic trade, But that was then paired with a loss on GBP JPY, which again, this was a terrible trade. This was a terrible trade. We're buying right at a huge move, at the low of a huge move. Now, obviously, we wouldn't have known this was going to be the low, but we're selling into such extreme amount of pressure. To me, that's never a good idea, right? If GBP JPY is down X amount of pips, generally you won't want to sell into that, right? If it's down 100 pips, the GBP JPY is going to tend to not trend much more beyond those 100 pips. So you kind of wait for a retracement if you want to sell again. That would be my feeling around it. But ChatGPT thought let's go short, went short, and just, bad trade. So there you go on that one. And then the last trade here on gold, again, kind of something similar. We kind of sold into what was already a very strong downward movement and try to sell on the breakout of an already strong downward movement, which I'm not saying it can't work out. It can, but I think you need some real momentum, some real catalysts in order to do that. And I didn't personally see that we had that. So I didn't like this trade idea. And as you can see, it was a loss. So coming back to this page, the results so far, down -2%. And that brings me to the next point, as I've actually updated the prompt. So I've updated the prompt I'm using with ChatGPT, basically to make two changes. So the changes are as follows. Let me just put them in here. So number one is Euro USD out, GBP JPY in. So that's change number one. Change number two is feed ChatGPT its trades. So number one, Euro USD out, GBP JPY in, and number two, I'm now feeding ChatGPT all of the trades that it's taken. I'm feeding them back to ChatGPT so it can see its losses, see its wins, and hopefully improve its trading. So that's basically what I've updated in the past few days. And the reason I've done that, the reason I've done number one, removed Euro USD and put in GBP JPY, is because I was finding, and I didn't think about this beforehand, but in hindsight, I should have. I have Bitcoin, so BTC USD, gold, XAU USD, and Euro USD. Now, these are all paired with the US dollar. And the problem here is they all don't have exact correlation, of course, Bitcoin, gold, and Euro USD, they don't have exact correlation. But the problem is any economic release from the US would cause them all to trend in the same direction at the same time. So that correlation would mean that if we had, all the pairs long, or if we had a mix, it would either lead to just break-even trading or all losses or all wins. I don't think it was the ideal way to do it. So I removed Euro USD, put in GBP JPY, and hopefully that now reduces the correlation slightly. Obviously, it's not going to be completely removed, but it's reducing it slightly, and I think improves the challenge overall. Point number two is I'm now feeding ChatGPT its losses. And this is just an idea I was thinking about, and I think it's it doesn't change the challenge, because the challenge goal is to see, can ChatGPT trade, and can it analyze the charts by itself and trade. That's what I want to do. I don't want to feed it the whole strategy. I want to see if ChatGPT can analyze the charts and trade itself. So I think that's a good change to make. This will be interesting. Can ChatGPT learn from its mistakes and improve its trading as we go on through the challenge? So let's have a look at the prompt and how exactly I've done that. So the prompt, here's ChatGPT. So this is the prompt here. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because that's going to be quite boring. You can pause it here and you can have a look. But the point I want to bring you to is just here. Before I send the charts, I want you to analyze. I'm going to show you all of the trades you have taken so far. Learn from these trades and make improvements. After that, I will send the charts for analysis, and I want your response to include blah, blah, blah. In other words, here are your trades you've taken, analyze them and learn from them. So I sent them, so it said it understood, perfect. I sent the charts. I followed up with the rest of the charts because it only limits you to 10 pictures at a time. So I upload all the charts. And as you can see here, it said, thank you for providing the trade history. Let's now move forward with the analysis. So it's digested that, and I don't know what it's done. I don't know if it's made changes. I didn't ask it. I did actually ask it further down the line, but it wasn't anything particularly noteworthy, really. It just kind of listed out all the losses. I can show you quickly. It listed out, where is it? It's further down. Obviously, you can see that I have a long chat history with ChatGPT, but you can see here, reviewing additional trades. So it gives some data as to what exactly it's seeing. So that's kind of interesting, but essentially, once I sent in those trades, I then gave it the charts to analyze, so the live market data to analyze, as you can see here, and then it fed me out the trade ideas. So that's the change that I've made. I've essentially told it, look, here are your previous trades, analyze these, learn from the mistakes, and use that to analyze these new charts. And so now for the last 2 days, it's been doing that. And I mean, it's too early to note if there's an actual difference. I haven't really seen a major difference in the trades ideas yet. They all seem, again, very similar to what they previously were. But we will see over the next few days, over the next period of time, if that actually does improve it and that does improve the analysis overall. So yeah, basically that is the updated prompt. And now I'm going to talk about the thoughts overall on ChatGPT's performance and whether I think it can trade so far. Obviously, we're 18 trades in. Do I think it can trade so far? So let's get into it. So I think there's two big things I want to note with this, right? So number one is, I would say, I've been impressed by ChatGPT's analysis of the data, right? So impressive analysis. So that's number one. That has impressed me. I think the analysis has been impressive. And what I mean by that is, if I come to ChatGPT and I show you a chart that I send it, it tends to give accurate, at least, and maybe it doesn't give the best trades, but it gives accurate analysis of what the chart is showing. And to me, that in itself is relatively impressive. So if I show you, for example, this is the Bitcoin 1 hour chart, and then I come to Bitcoin and it says the 1 hour chart shows consolidation with a potential breakout to the upside. And you can see that this is consolidating. I mean, you could argue that this most recent price action is consolidating, but the overall chart is in a general consolidation. So that's accurate analysis. And I've noticed that across all of the charts I send it, it tends to give accurate analysis. And for example, I don't need to tell ChatGPT, this is the Bitcoin chart, this is the 1 hour time frame. It can know just simply from the top left corner. To me, that's very impressive, right? Because it's like a human, right? It's like a human. It's able to see the picture and analyze it and create a fair assessment. That in itself is impressive. So that has been the first thing that has impressed me so far in this challenge. Let me get back to the thing. The thing that I would say, the second thing I think about the performance is some terrible trade ideas. That is the second thing. The performance at times is impressive, and at times some trades I'm like, that is a fantastic trade. But then other times I just can't wrap my head around the trades. And I just think that this is such a silly trade. It's just not a good trade in any respect. That showed in that the last three trades that I showed you, right? If we come back here, these are the last three trades here. We have the Bitcoin trade. To me, fantastic trade, right? We had clear support being created. We were starting to see some kind of bullish momentum. We took this trade here and it worked out fantastic. And there's other trades just like this that are also, you've got multiple confluences of a trending market, retracement back into a zone, etc. And you're just looking at like, that's a fantastic trade. But then ChatGPT goes and takes a trade like this on GBP JPY, where we've literally moved from 200.2 down to 197.400. I mean, that's like 600 pips we've moved. That's too, you cannot short into that. And let me just go into GBP JPY and just have a look here. So if we look at the pips from the top to the bottom, it's 300 pips, right? I don't know why I said 600 pips, but it's 300 pips. That's 1.5%. In currency terms, that's a very, very big drop. And to be shorting into such a large drop is a terrible idea, in my opinion. A terrible idea, especially to put the TP down as far as it did, right? If you did that and you went to target a small 1-to-1, okay, but it was targeting a 2.3 RR. So it was looking for an extra drop of 150 pips, almost 1%. That's unrealistic in my opinion, and that's a terrible trade. So coming back to this chart over here, what we were saying over here is, yeah, my thoughts on the performance overall are not very good. Not very good, to be honest. Impressive analysis, but I just think that there's too many terrible trades paired in that. And it seems to me like you're going to get that thing where you get an impressive trade, you take a win, like, damn, this is impressive. And then you're going to take two terrible losses that are just terrible trade ideas out of nowhere. So the only saving grace is I've updated the prompt to allow it to analyze its previous trades, and perhaps ChatGPT can now look back at its previous trades, notice where it's going wrong, and fix those mistakes. But we don't know. We don't know if it can do that. So that's what this experiment is all about. So let's see after the next period. Obviously, I'll keep you guys updated after 100 trades, and we'll see if ChatGPT can actually turn a profit. So thank you very much for watching. If you want daily updates on this, check my Twitter or my Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and you can find the daily updates here. But yeah, stay tuned, subscribe, and next time I will bring part 3 of the ChatGPT series. Thanks for watching.